Hey, welcome to the exact strategy I will use to land a cloud role today. My name is Broadus Palmer. I'm the founder of Level Up in Tech. And for this training, my goal is to help you get focused, help you strategize with a strategy for your career, and help you land a role and ultimately make money. All right, so let me pull myself over here on top so y'all can see me. All right, so, you know, when I was coming into my journey and trying to land a cloud role because I came from the banking industry of 14 years, it was a lot of things that I experienced, a lot of things I did wrong, a lot of people I listened to that gave me some information that just kind of made me hit a roadblock. And I want to take my experiences throughout these years that I've been in tech and even the time that I was transitioning. And I want to give it to you so you can quickly ingest this information and move to the next level in your career. All right. So the topics that we're going to talk about today are research and focus. We're going to look at hands-on learning. We're going to talk about showcasing your skills. We're going to talk about building a portfolio. We're going to talk about curated applications, networking and outreach, and handling rejection. All right. So let's talk about number one, research and focus. The first thing you want to do if you're trying to land a role is to understand what type of roles are out there for you to land. All right. So if you're looking at cloud engineering, cloud computing, what type of cloud roles that are out there? Do you want to be technical? Do you not want to be technical? There are so many roles that are out there you can actually land. And what I would do is just focus on one. So if you want to look at a cloud engineering role because you like troubleshooting, you like solving problems, then I will look at some roles that are out there that specify cloud engineering and look at the common skills that you need to earn as far as and learn as far as to land to the role. So typically you could just look at one and look at, okay, this is what I need and this is what I'm going to learn. And one thing about it is if you're learning uh, a role and you're learning skills for a role, typically it's going to be 50% of the skills that you're going to go somewhere else to, right? So this is what I mean. If I'm taking this role from, let's say, Capital One, cloud engineer role, and I want to learn the skills in that role, it doesn't matter if I don't go to Capital One. If I go to SHI, if I go to Deloitte or whatever the case may be, I will still have skills that's relevant to that cloud engineering role, right? Because they're typically the same. Some companies may have, you know, different services and tools, but if you're using something that's common, you're still understanding the process. All right. So once you understand exactly what you need to learn, then we can start getting focused to learning it, right? We have so many resources out there you can learn where you can go on YouTube. You have so many free resources on AWS, Microsoft Learn. You have Google Cloud resources, Oracle resources, Alibaba resources. There's so many cloud resources you can learn. And if you want to go to platforms, there's so many different cloud platforms you can take and learn and get hands-on training, hands-on learning as well. And we need to just set up a schedule for us to make sure that we are doing the daily activities that we need to do in order for us to land that role. All right. So this means that the distance between the difference of where you are and where you want to be, get my finger in here. All right. That gap is the daily activities. And you know what you need to do now because we researched the role. Now it's all about focus. Okay. So, second thing is hands on learning. How do we get experience if no one hires us to get experience? And that's always been the catch 22. And when I was coming through the industry, uh, people told me, hey, get your certifications and you'll get a job. And I believed them. So I went in and I got 3 AWS associate certifications. I got the AWS Solutions Architect, I got the AWS Developer Associate, and I got the AWS SysOps Associate. Got interviews and did not understand anything about what they were talking about because I had no experience or wasn't exposed in solving problems. And right then and there, I knew the strategy that I had that I was using was the wrong strategy that smacked me into a roadblock where I needed to go back to understand and figure out how can I solve these problems. So I had to look at what's the best way for me to get hands-on learning. And at that time, there's a platform called Linux Academy that allowed me to not only absorb the resources and the videos, but absorb the hands-on labs to get exposed to solving these problems. And instead of just sitting back and looking at videos, I was actually doing exactly what the instructor was doing and just creating memory banks in my mind to understand how to do these things. Now, when you talk about hands-on learning, we have to understand the type of person that we are. So, are we a person that we can really get it done on our own? Are we a type of person that we really need a mentor? Or are we the type of person that needs structure and accountability and need a program? We have to be realistic with these things and realistic with ourselves. As for, we have to set aside the investment to be able to make sure we're shooting ourselves to the next level and we're investing in ourselves to get that ROI. All right. So, once again, hands-on learning is going to be different for everyone, but you need to pick the right platforms, pick the right people that can help you get that hands-on understanding, hands-on opportunities, because exposure equals experience. So this is what I mean. So think about it from this standpoint. If you've been dealing with a service for, let's say, the past 6 months, and you've been getting hands-on, solving problems, banging your head against the wall, troubleshooting, etc. And let's say you get hired at Capital One. I'm just using them for an example. Let's say you get hired at Capital One, and you have a couple of peers that's working. They've been in that role for about 2 years. And those peers haven't had any experience working with that tool, but they've been in tech for 2-3 years. And let's say Capital One now says, hey, we have a new product that we're trying to build, and we're going to use the service or tool that, let's say, you've been using for the last 6 months. In this case, who has the most experience? Is it you who have been using the tool for the last 6 months, or the people who just have experience who haven't used it before? It's you. So you got to understand that the more you expose yourself to solving problems, the more experience that you're going to have, whether it's complex, basic, intermediate, etc. And it takes almost 100 hours for you to have intermediate experience with a service or tool. So think about that. So if you're sitting there setting your goals out where you say, oh, I want to learn this in the next 30, 60, 90 days, and I want to land a cloud engineer role, and you have no experience in cloud whatsoever, and you're only putting in 3-4 hours a week, you do that. 4 times 4 is 16, right? And then you do 16 times 3. So what is that? Making sure I'm straight. 48 hours out of that 3 months. And you think you're going to compete with people who's been putting hours and hours in a day and even over the weekends to learn this stuff to be efficient enough to solve problems. No, because it takes 100 hours for you to have intermediate experience, and you're not going to get it done in 48 hours. So back to what I was saying. All right. Exposure equals experience. Understand the person that you are, whether you're a person to do it by yourself, you need a mentor, you need structure and accountability. All right. And we need to be realistic. So, number 3 is showcasing these skills. So, what we need to understand is, how can we showcase these skills on social media? And the difference between you being successful at it and you're not being successful at it at all is just executing. A lot of us are afraid to showcase what we've been doing because we're afraid to really put ourselves and be vulnerable out there to someone to say that we're wrong or we did something wrong. Oh, that's stupid. No one is going to say that because everyone is learning. And for those who know what you're putting out, and let's say you did something wrong, those are the people who are going to come in your inbox and just kind of give you some feedback, and you could just also learn from that. No one is going to embarrass you out in the open, because on a platform like LinkedIn, let's say professional network, nobody's going to say that because it makes them look less professional. So the only thing that's holding you back is yourself. And you can showcase your skills by doing 2 things. We could document our entire process when we're working with a project or working with a hands-on lab, whatever the case may be. And when I say document our entire process, I don't mean 1, 2, 3, I'm done. I mean 1, 2, okay, between 2 and 3, I had some issues and I had an error, and this is how I fixed it. And I got around that error and I was able to successfully complete the project, and that's how it looked. I want to see your failures as well, because that's going to show me or show our hiring manager or anybody that you're trying to impress at a role how you solve the problems, right? Anybody can 1, 2, 3. It doesn't show me that you can do the work. So if someone comes to me with a project that is 1, 2, 3, and let's say I'm interviewing them, the first thing I'm going to do is ask them and dive deep into the projects. Oh, tell me, what happened in, when this blah blah blah. And if they can't tell me, or if they can't tell me about any failures and I know they didn't go through them, then I'm just going to say this person just literally copied and pasted from someone else or copied and pasted from documentation, because we know it didn't go that way. We want to see all of the failures. How did you solve this problem? Any type of small error, any type of oops, I made a mistake. These are the things that literally can set you apart, that you think in your mind that it's literally going to help you become and look more stupid. It is not. It's really going to show people who you are and your creative process of solving problems. So, number one, you can do documentation and you can do video. All right. So, just like I'm doing this video right now, you can use YouTube, you can use Loom, you can use ScreenFlow, Camtasia, anything to record your process in solving problems. All right. So, number one, as far as documentation, you can use Medium, you can use GitHub, you can use dev.io to showcase how you can solve problems in documentation. And documentation is key. Documentation itself can be an asset for you, because a lot of companies, when you get into a role, don't have people that can do good documentation. So for you who've been documenting the entire process, so let's say you've done 20 projects and you have 20 projects actually documented in a process that can help people learn and help people see how you solve problems. This is magnificent to someone who wants to get into a role. It's going to set you apart. And if you even do both, go to YouTube and create your videos and showcase, get out of your comfort zone and build your brand that way. Now you become what we call a subject matter expert without even feeling like an expert, right? You're going to do these projects and you're like, I just barely know these projects. But other people looking at you are going to see that you're an expert and want to learn more. So think about how you're projecting yourself out there. All right. So building a portfolio is exactly what I'm talking about. So now we understand how to showcase our skills, how to put them out there on LinkedIn, and the tools that we can use. Now it's just all about compounding. Now it's about just compounding interest, compounding and doing the work, right? So for a person, let's say a normal person would do about 2 or 3 projects and be like, I'm applying for jobs. No. How about, let's say we 10x that, right? Let's do 20, 30 projects. That way you expose yourself to so much that you can literally just talk through any of your projects and showcase your ability and your creative solutions that you found working in these things. You're not going to have enough experience or exposure to talk about anything for 3 projects. But if you got 20 or 30, think about the difference. Think about 10xing what normal people would do to try to land a role. That's how you stand out. All right. That's how you build and compound on a portfolio, put all your stuff in GitHub and showcase your code. And that gives the interviewer a lot to talk about. And when they ask you questions about that, guess what? You'll be able to quickly identify your projects and talk about how you was able to solve those problems that make sense to them. All right. So building a portfolio that showcase the skills that the company that you want to work for needs you to showcase. And that way you'll be able to showcase the exact problems they need you to fix within their organization. All right. So the next thing, we researched and focused. We got our hands on learning, right? We're learning how to showcase our skills. We're compounding and we build a portfolio. Now, excuse me, y'all. Now it's about uh, curating applications. And what does that mean? So this means now it's time to apply for applications. And most people are not going to apply and curate their resume to showcase the skills that that particular company wants to see. So this is what I mean. Most people would just blindly apply. And the minimum you should be applying for as far as roles is 10 roles a week. That's a minimum. Most of y'all don't even do that. Most of y'all doing 5, 6, 7, 8 roles and you don't hear nothing. And you're like, well, I haven't heard anything. And they stop. It's 10 roles a week. Right now, it's an average of about 180 and 180 and 200 applications that is showing that people are getting hired in any industry right now. All right. So think about this. If you're doing 25 applications a week, 5 applications a day for 5 days a week, 25 applications a week, you're typically landing your interview and getting a role from the law of averages, right? In the next 2 months. All right. But for those of you who are doing 5 applications a month, 6 applications a month, it's going to take you a lot of time to be able to land that role. And you may get lucky and land something with that strategy, but we're being aggressively, um, we're being aggressive with our career because we want to ultimately land a role and make the most money that we actually can. All right. So back to curated applications. So a lot of people are blindly applying to these applications and they're just taking one resume, apply. What that does is if you're applying to a role that's asking you to have Linux skills and let's say Python skills and let's say Terraform skills, but you're showing oh, let me showcase my Elastic Beanstalk skills. Let me showcase my Docker skills as well. And let me showcase some project management skills. Then you're not going to move to the second round. The automated tracking system, excuse me, is going to literally just read over the keywords. And if you don't hit any of the keywords, you're not even going to get a callback or response. It's just going to say, hey, unfortunately, we moved on to other candidates. And you're going to frustrate yourself because you're not doing the proper steps to apply to these roles. So what you should be doing is, hey, it's hard work. It's hard work, but somebody has to do it, right? Somebody got to put the time in to do it. I know you work. I know you got kids. I know you got a busy life, but you said you want to change out of that life into something else. So the easiest way to transition into a cloud role is if you're already doing the work of a cloud engineer and you're, putting in the hours to make sure you're professionally set up. So meaning if you're applying to 10 roles, you need to carefully look at what these roles are asking you for and curate your resume to showcase those skills. So if they're asking a lot of Terraform and a lot of AWS skills, then pull out your Terraform and AWS projects and post them on there. Right? If they're asking for Python and Linux skills, well, pull out your Python and Linux projects and post them on there. All right. That way you showcasing your exposure and your experience and the system or the recruiter who's looking at it. You got 7 seconds for a recruiter to scan your resume. If they're looking at it, they'll be able to see that you have keywords or you have the experience with the skills that they need because if they're hiring, they have a problem and you need to showcase that you can solve that problem. All right. Too many of you are blindly applying. Too many of you are out there just trying to apply. I hope that works and it doesn't work and you get super frustrated. Don't frustrate yourself. Do the proper steps before applying and then get the results that you want. All right. So networking and outreach. So this means after we're applying, right, we need to search LinkedIn for the recruiter. We need to search for a cloud engineer, a hiring manager, or anybody that works in that company. So this means 3 to 5 people that you're going to look up that works in that company. You're going to connect with them. All right. So this means, once again, recruiter, somebody that works there, cloud engineer that's in that role or a hiring manager or whatever, 3 to 5 people, and you're going to send them the script here. Let me get the script real quick. Let's talk about the script, right? Hey, name. Let's say my name is Broadus Palmer, and I'm a cloud engineer interested in the cloud engineering role at ABC Company. I wanted to ask you if you can spare 5 minutes of your time because I have some questions about the day-to-day, the culture, and how you came to work at ABC Company. I know you're super busy, and I really appreciate you for taking the time to chat with me. Please send me a link to schedule some time on your calendar. I look forward to speaking with you. That's all you have to do. Send this little script straight to 3 to 5 people in that company. Somebody's going to respond. And that way you got that conversation. And if they like you, they're going to give you a referral anyway. You're going to get set up for the alley-oop, slam dunk. You're getting the job, all right, if you interview well. All right, so it's all about networking and outreach, and you need to do that for every single job that you apply to. So if you're applying to 10 roles, it needs to be 30 to 50 people that you're having a conversation with. You are the salesperson for your brand and strategy. So you are a company, you are a business. You need to market yourself and you need to sell yourself. And this is the way we're going to do it. So, last but not least, we're talking about handling rejection. So, let's say they don't respond, or let's say you do get the interview and you don't qualify to move to the next round. It is totally fine and it's totally okay. What we're going to do is we're going to create a database or email list or spreadsheet or whatever you want to do of the emails and the people that we talk to, or the LinkedIn profiles or of the people that we talk to. And guess what? What we're going to do is continue to send them every week updates on what we're doing. So if you have, let's say you got a rejection letter, or you're just not fit to move on to the next round, whatever it is, I would ask for feedback first. Like, hey, do you have any feedback or what I could have done better, or skills that I may need to acquire to be able to qualify for a role like this? And most of the time, they're going to give you the answer. You take that answer and you implement it in your strategy to learn. Once you start learning those things, you're going to update the recruiter, the cloud engineer, the hiring manager with the projects that you're doing, the videos that you're doing. Hey, John, I just want to keep you updated with the new video I posted on me solving problems with Terraform. Here, I hope you like it. Feedback is always welcome. Because if you're sending it to a technical person and they look at it and they give you feedback, you already resparking that conversation, right? Or better yet, what you could do is you can actually reach out to them while you're working on a project. If you're already conversing with a hiring manager or a cloud engineer, be like, hey, John, I took the initiative to start working on the problems that you all are working on at ABC company. I'm working on this project, but I'm stuck here. I was wondering, can you look at it and give me some feedback on what you think this error might be? I tried this and this and this, but I just can't seem to find a solution. Now you got them involved in your project and they're going to give you feedback, and you all now are working on this project together, right? And not everyone is going to do that, but what it's going to do is keep you on top of the mind. It's going to keep you in their inbox. It's going to keep you in their email. So when something else comes up, right, you will be able to land a role because they're going to remember you. It's all about staying, on top of mind. So think about if you go to a website and you put stuff in a cart and you don't buy, that website is going to email you, hey, you forgot stuff in your cart, or it's going to keep you updated with what's new, what's going on, and how you can focus on the new products that they have. And that's exactly how you need to think about your career. So hey, research and focus, hands-on learning, showcasing skills, building a portfolio, curating applications, networking and outreach, and handling rejections. That is the exact strategy I will use to land a cloud role today. My goal is to help you be successful, land a cloud role, and make money. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to leave the link to our community in our comments of the YouTube page, or the YouTube details. Join the community. We're here to give you free courses, free content, free live events. If you want to come learn, you want to network with people like you, join the community. But I'm here to help. If you have any questions, put in the comments. I'll respond. I love you. Let's continue to level up in tech. I'll see you later.